I am divorcing my wife after finding out that my son is not mine. I found out 3 weeks ago. Not from her. Not from a DNA test I ordered. From her own mother. We were at her parents' house for Sunday dinner. The kind we did every few weeks. Her dad grilling out back. Her mom fussing over the table settings. My son running around the yard in his socks like he owned the place. It was a completely normal night. That's the part that still gets me. My wife stepped outside to take a call maybe 20 minutes into dinner. Work stuff, she said. Her mom poured herself a third glass of wine and got quiet. Not the comfortable kind of quiet. The kind where someone is working up the nerve to say something they've been holding for a long time. She started crying before she even said a word. I put my fork down, asked her what was wrong, and she just looked at me, really looked at me, and said she couldn't keep watching me be such a good dad without telling me the truth. She said 5 years ago, while I was away for work, my wife had a brief thing with a coworker. Said it didn't last long. Said my wife ended it and never spoke to him again. Said my wife cried to her about it for months afterward, but by then she was already pregnant, and the timing was close enough that nobody said anything. They just hoped. I asked her to repeat what she said. She did. I sat there for a second, then I picked my fork back up and finished my food. My wife came back inside, kissed me on the cheek, sat down, started talking about something funny a coworker had said. I laughed at the right parts. Her dad told a story about his first car. My son fell asleep on the couch halfway through dessert, and I carried him to the car myself. I didn't say a word the whole drive home. I gave him a bath, put him in his pajamas, read him 2 chapters of his favorite book, the one about the train that gets lost and finds its way home. He was asleep before I finished the 2nd chapter. I sat next to his bed in the dark for a few minutes, just watching him breathe. Then I went downstairs, waited for my wife to go to bed, and ordered a DNA test from my laptop at the kitchen table. I sent the samples off to a lab 2 states over and waited 3 weeks. 3 weeks of making breakfasts and helping with homework and watching movies on the couch and acting like everything was completely fine. I got good at it, maybe too good. During that time, I kept looking at him differently. Not coldly. I was never angry at him. He didn't do anything wrong. But I'd catch myself watching him play and studying his face, his hands, the way he laughed, looking for myself in him, not finding it, not knowing what to do with that feeling every single time. The results came back on a Tuesday morning. I was making him breakfast, eggs and toast, his usual. He was sitting at the counter telling me about a dream where dinosaurs had to go to school, and he was the teacher, and none of them would listen to him. He was acting it out with his hands, doing the voices. My phone was on the counter next to the stove, and the notification came in and I opened it and read it once. I put the phone face down, flipped his eggs, put the toast on his plate, watched him eat and kept asking about the dinosaurs because he wasn't done with the story yet. I held it together the entire day, dropped him off at school, came home, sat in the driveway for 20 minutes without moving, went inside and called in sick. That night, after he was asleep, I went into the living room where my wife was watching TV. I sat down next to her, said her name. She looked over at me. I told her I knew. Just those 2 words. I knew. She went completely still. Didn't ask what I meant. Didn't try to act confused. Just sat there and then quietly asked how I found out. I told her it didn't matter. I told her I had already spoken to a lawyer. I told her I wanted a divorce. She started crying. Said it was a mistake. Said it was one time and it meant nothing. Said she had been terrified every single day since it happened that this moment would come. Said she was sorry and she loved me and she didn't want to lose our family. I listened to all of it. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I waited for her to finish and then told her she should sleep in the guest room. She's been at her mother's house for 2 weeks now. The irony of that is not lost on me. My son keeps asking when she's coming home. I tell him soon. I don't know what else to say to a 5-year-old who has no idea what's happening and shouldn't have to. I still pick him up from school every day. I still make his eggs in the morning. I still read him his books at night and sit in the dark next to his bed until he falls asleep. I don't know what any of that means for what comes next. I'm just doing it because it's the only thing right now that feels like something I know how to do. She hasn't stopped calling, but I have nothing left to say to her.